in a hot water
It's just
bath.
like boiling.
Yeah.
No, is water wet? Is hot dogs a sandwich? You've heard that.
No.
Never?
No.
Hot dog is a roll, yeah, technically.
I don't really care.
It's open-ended, but it's one piece of bread. It's a roll.
Yeah, sure. I don't care. That's just like the internet shit. But the one that got me here a little bit was humans don't feel air, but we feel water.
I do feel air.
No, you feel wind.
Yeah, exactly. That's
okay,
air.
don't do this to me.
Do what?
Do fish not feel water and they feel air?
They feel water and they feel air. When you pull them out of the water, they go, oh, no water. Oh, my God, air. They feel both.
Maybe that's because they're suffocating.
Exactly.
I feel like if you're stuck in water all the time, you don't know what wet is.
I think you've done too many drugs.
I've never done drugs. Isn't that great?
Maybe that's the problem.
You're the third person to say that within the last 6 months.
Really?
Someone else will be like, dude, you're probably real interesting on drugs. I say, I don't do drugs because my mind is like this normally.
On drugs, yeah.
Already there. Well, you're making me think though of being in a flotation tank.
Oh yeah, right. Because then you start to not feel it.
You start to not feel it because it's the same temperature as your body for the most part.
Yeah.
So you don't feel the water anymore.
Right.
So you may be onto something.
See?
Or you may be on something. I'm not
Or
sure.
like the room temp. They say like put the room temp as like your skin temp or your body temp, and then it's like it's supposed to be comfy.
So you put the room temp at 98 degrees?
No, whatever your skin, because your skin temp's different.
Oh,
than
right.
76 or
That's
I
true.
don't know what. I don't really know. It's all
I
real
want to say
bullshit.
like about 10 degrees below your core temp.
Oh, maybe. Oh, so then 88.
That's
Something
hot.
like
That's
That
really
is
That
hot.
seems very hot
That
to
is
me.
pretty warm. That's
I
probably
would
what it is
sweat.
in here.
Yeah.
No introduction needed, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only Bart Kwan, man of many hats, Barber Brigade, Just Kidding Films, Mike's best friend, among other things. That's what you put on your resume, I assume.
That's true. Yeah, Mike's best friend.
Yeah. Well, Mike who? It doesn't matter. Fuck
Any
that.
mic.
Yeah,
Every
fuck that
mic.
kid.
Yeah.
We're
MIC even. So
gonna try to do a couple bangers here with Bart, but as you guys know, we're kind of this new format. We're rotating through different conversations, different subjects, and one that I think applies to so many people on their own level is fitness at home gyms, COVID changing these things, and whether you work for a gym or in the fitness industry, which I think a lot of our listeners do, or work for another industry. Now, kind of the Zoom work day. Everyone's on Zoom, everyone's on email, and how does that transfer? And Bart, in private conversation, you kind of said it works so good that you're moving out of your city.
It moves good. It works good, and it also doesn't work good at the same time.
Okay, I like that. So we'll start with the cons, because I think there's a lot of cons that people haven't caught up
Yeah.
yet, because we're only like 9 months into this thing, really,
Yeah, so you can still be in the honeymoon phase where you're enjoying all the good parts
Yeah.
and you haven't really faced reality of it yet.
Yeah, like, I just get to wake up and I do my emails whenever I want, and and your production's way down. Your boss is not happy with you, but he hasn't yelled at you
Right,
yet.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's probably where it is, because I see it from the fitness standpoint, and we've talked about this for a long time, is like, there's anomalies. There's the Dan Greens, there's the Mike Tashirs, there's some of the Yuri Belkins that are just like training by themselves
Yeah.
in a garage or
Yeah.
in a gym, but solely by themselves,
Yeah.
and are world-class athletes.
Yes.
But then I think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, there's people like you and I that kind of built gyms because I'm antisocial as hell.
Yeah.
You're pretty introverted too.
Yeah.
People don't know, but
Yeah.
but we like that energy of people being there.
Yeah, I like the community.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's a reason we had offices to begin with.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's a hierarchy, there's the boss, a CEO, there's all these things. And now in 2021 everything's going to shit.
Yeah.
So what were some of the first hurdles maybe you kind of see philosophically or applicationally of moving your gym business, for lack of a better term, online?
So, I think speaking upon community, I think most people achieve more with a group.
Sure.
So I think that's like the first thing.
Yeah.
Where like, if there's just one guy that's just jogging and he's probably not going to go, let's go 10 miles. Right. But then if you have three people, one person's like, let's go 10 miles. And the person's like, I don't know. And someone's like, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Cool. You guys are going 10 miles. Right. So I think in generally, like people do achieve more as a group, but going to the whole Zoom communication, like online thing, and starting with cons first.
Yeah.
The one biggest con is you realize how quickly people are poor communicators through text. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
So,
Are they
huge,
equally
yeah.
as poor in email is the question?
yes.
Because I find people are more poor in text. even though it's the same as email.
Yeah.
But some people suck for sure in email as well.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and I type differently. Like when I text you, it probably looks like gibberish, but you understand what I'm talking about. But when I write an email, it's more professionally formatted. Yeah, most people are different, but maybe most people suck at both.
Yeah, so like my team, we have like all kinds of people, right? People that run the website, people that design, people that do back end stuff, the fulfillment, like following production. We make media. We have like pretty much a whole company.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard the phrase
Plus
like
gym staff, right?
Plus gym staff,
plus physical shit.
Yeah, like everyone has their genius, right? And so for a lot of people, communication actually isn't their genius. And that's the problem.
Yeah, sure.
We're like, like let's say me and especially creative people.
Yeah.
Like you work, and that's the reason why they're in creatives, right? Because they have to find other ways of expressing themselves. Like, I'm not going to be able to tell you I love you, but listen to this. Ding, dong, ding. And you're like, oh, I feel it in my heart.
True.
So it's kind of like that where like, especially with creative people, when you're able to brainstorm in person and you feel their energy,
Right.
like you get so much done. And then afterwards, there's like a call to action. Okay, you do this part, I do this part, we'll meet back.
Yeah.
Right? And then almost like the next day, if you guys are having like a regular like work schedule Monday through Friday, you start where you left off and you build this momentum. When you're working online, this person right after it is like, oh shit, my dog shit on the floor. They're like wiping the dog shit off a carpet.
Yeah.
Or like
Their kid or
they need to go outside. Yeah, they're hungry, or they need to go masturbate or something, like whatever.
Mid-work masturbate? Is that an issue Barbara Brigade's having?
Yeah, like everyone's schedule is just crazy now. So it's not really controlled. It's not like a team environment, And so we're not all going through the same things. And sometimes like 48 hours later, I'm expecting to receive something. And then they're like, oh, so what was that thing we talked about again? I'm like, oh, shit. So it's kind of like it's a constant like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
Where that's supposed to be like a one-time thing that jumpstarts you. Like that phrase is supposed to be like, oh, I got to do this 1 step back to go 2 steps forward. But it feels like the whole time it's like that when people aren't excellent communicators, and on both ends.
Sure.
Because I mean, I fuck up too, you know. So there's
you're
time.
a creative.
Yeah, and then I think like the way the hierarchy is, like how you're explaining, it's like the higher up you go, the more things you're involved in, right? So if this person is a specialist here, I'm like only talking to them about this for whatever, and they take off and they go kill it. If I come back a week later, sometimes I'm the one that's like, wait, where did we leave off?
Right.
But then versus like if we're all together, it's easier to constantly bounce back ideas, get reminded of their face. You walk by their desk, you see the shorts that are there. You're just so many other constant reminders all around that kind of really helps fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
So unless you have like an extremely like streamlined system, like the way like maybe these tech or app companies in Silicon Valley have, I think it's really hard.
Yeah, and the bigger, like you said, the specialist, the bigger the company, the more refined your job is because there's more employees.
Yeah.
So like I'm just the Excel guy if I work for this huge company where even Barbara Brigade, like you guys have a great system and a big team, but you're not Facebook.
Yeah.
So couple people have a couple hats.
Yeah, and everyone has like are sharing hats.
Yeah.
And then if there's not the direct handoff, it's like sometimes, oh, I thought you had it. No, I thought you had it.
Right.
You know?
Or like on a show and tell, get excited. That's kind of what, obviously our team is tiny and I like it that way. And we want to scale and grow, but we want that because I can just like text. It's easy. Like we have multiple hats, but we have our own hats too separate. And I'll just like text them like, hey, this is the shirt we're working on right now. And then I'm working with the designer back and forth or whatever it might be. But it's in person, the show and tell is easy.
One of our other friends in the fitness space, and because like I think when you get into like business, I almost feel like everyone's kind of like a street fighter that's learning how to do MMA, right? Like you kind of figure shit out.
For sure, because none of us are business guys and none of us had like business mentors.
Yeah, and then so you kind of figure it out and you kind of learn the ropes and you learn like, oh, I got to get better at my ground game or whatever, right? I think you know him too, but in the fitness industry, this guy.
Is he remaining nameless?
He's remaining nameless because I don't know how everyone feels about it. But he came out of jail.
Yeah.
And he owns a fitness company, but there's a lot of people that came out of jail.
Yeah, I know. You just just isolated 90%. Now there's 90% we could be talking about still.
But I liked how, because I was picking his brain, how he runs business. Yeah. And I like the way he does it because he was like, all right, there's only a couple people. There's the website guy. There's content guy, and then make shit guy. And then so when shit happens and someone comes up to him and they're like, "Hey man, like the Shopify, you know, like what's that's like whatever." He goes, "Is that the website?" He goes, "Yeah." Go over there.
Yeah, Timmy.
Yeah. And it's like, "Oh man, this T-shirt or like or these supplements.
Yeah.
Are you making some shit?" Then go.
Make shit guy. Yeah.
So it's like really like
you have to.
I'm like sometimes like I'm like maybe going towards the Silicon Valley route isn't the best way.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be boiling it down going this
The
way.
San Andreas route, the
Yeah.
San Quentin route.
Exactly.
Well, that's a functional organization.
Yeah.
Chart.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it
technically,
is.
like, I do have the business education. I did all that shit.
Yeah.
But it's weird for me going through this because, like, I'm suddenly remembering, oh, wait a minute, you're supposed to do it like that, and then it's supposed to work like that, and it's supposed to be more streamlined like that. Like, you know.
There's probably a lot that you've seen, like, oh, this I was taught this for a reason, and oh, I was taught this and
for
it's
no
meaningless.
reason.
Yeah.
There's a lot of no reason, and there's a little bit of reason.
Yeah. This is just tradition, so I need to have this thing here. No, this isn't helping us right now.
That was kind of the biggest difference between my bachelor's degree and my master's was bachelor's, everything is purely theoretical and you don't have any experience. You get some experience in between, you go back and you realize that the models that they're teaching you describe the experiences.
Sure.
But in some ways they constrain your ideas about how things work, and then you have to
And that's why
obviously break out of
masters
that.
usually like they require like 2 or 3 years of work experience too, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
they want you
Yeah.
to like be out in the real world.
Yeah, because you don't make the connections in your brain when you go back to it unless you've seen it.
I see.
In my experience, at least.
So number one, you have seen. Is it just productivity then to loop the whole thing? Is productivity because of that communication slowed a little bit? Maybe not on an individual level, but again, keeping the machine momentum. Because your analogy of Street Fighters is funny with business. I think of like a business is like this big old ship.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
like you have one guy. You ever sailed? Probably not. This is a weird Waldorf kid thing. I had to catch
Have you
myself.
ever hang glided?
No, it's weirder, dude.
We got 2 Waldorfers in the house
like-
right this moment.
We
so.
sailed this like pirate ship, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, and there's a video game that does this. It's called Sea of Thieves. And so like, you know, there's different ropes that pull different masts and stuff. And I don't know how to do it. You have a guy telling you to, but
Yeah.
but like Jim's just got this left rope, and he doesn't really know what's fucking happening with the ship, but he knows he's got to pull this left rope enough.
Yeah.
And I'm over here steering.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's CEO, and then there's
Yeah.
another dude over here pulling this rope, and you don't really know what the fuck's going on. And so I think that's how the ship goes, right?
Yeah.
So the ship's just, we're hoping on wind, and we're changing the mast, and we're doing all these things to kind of adjust its route to get it to go faster and where we want to go. Has the ship of the business slowed, or just the person pulling the rope slowed a little bit in productivity?
It's kind of hard to say because I think what's cool about having like I guess like a CEO or people like more like at the exec level, like there's 3 of us, like me, Gio, and Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, baby.
Aaron. So like what's cool about having us is if there is anything that is dropping, we can immediately go in and kind of boost it back up. Because
Sure.
for us, like hitting the goal is more important than anything else.
Right.
So if people have to work the extra hours, like we can always kind of like mitigate that. But I think the part that's hard to gauge if it's the communication that's actually slowing down the productivity is there's just a whole bunch of COVID delays across the board.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I guess if I were to gauge, like let's say me and Jim were supposed to make these shorts, and our typical timeline is like 3 months or something, right? And we need like 3 months, and then we have to place the order. But now it's taking 6 months.
Yeah.
I think under normal circumstance, I would freak out. So I'm like, damn, we're like costing our company twice as long to make it. But then our factory is like, oh, we need 6 months anyways.
Yeah.
So now then it's kind of like, do I need to be that stressed out? You know, it's like, yeah, we're not doing the way we're supposed to. It's almost like basketball, right? Like, yeah, my free throw percentage kind of sucks this game, but we're also crushing them by like 20 points.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Are we having a bad game?
Yeah, I'll fix it next game.
Yeah, it's kind of like that where I think for us there's just so many things to focus on that what I do like about it though is it shows the parts that we need to fix in the system.
Put a little spotlight.
Because it's not an automatic like relay race. Like
Yeah.
I'm done. I pass you the baton. This person grabs it and they're sprinting, and we can kind of highlight those parts of the business too.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think the communication thing, I get hung up on the communication thing too, because I know I'm sending a text to somebody, or I'm sending an email, or we're sending something to customers or whatever, and I really get up in my head about how it all is presented and how it's gonna impact them and whatever. And Mike has a different approach, and so that's why we bounce stuff off of each other, and it helps keep me from getting too stuck.
And helps me not be lazy. Or be quick. I think efficient. A lot of things I put in as good enough.
Yeah.
And Jim, which is good, he does beyond good enough.
Yeah.
And so then if we find just above good enough, we're probably good.
And sometimes I say, I have no idea how to say this. You start.
Or I'll do
Just
opposite.
Start.
Yeah, I'll do opposite. Like, fuck it, dude. Rip them, Go in. That's something what frustrates me is that working with online businesses, which we've both done for a long time too. Is Barbell your first physical, you would say, probably, right?
The gym, yes.
Yeah. And ours too, obviously. And we've done business for years together, not together, everything online. Is that December, and this probably happens in other businesses too, but people just disappear, right? Like everyone's doing holidays. You can't get a fucking email back from whoever. Shit gets weird. Whatever. I feel like this COVID, because I'm dealing with companies that do online sales, whatever, do online fulfillment, something, they're using COVID as like a reason not to email. I'm like, your internet ain't down. Like, fuck you. Like, I understand what you're talking about.
It has happened to us where, like, one of our vendors just ghosted us for, like, a month.
Yeah.
And then we found out that it's because someone in their team caught COVID. So they had to do a drastic protocol or whatever. But then they emailed us a month after.
But why not email the day of? Hey, man, we're crushing. Like, one guy did that for us, too, and he was really good with it. I'll tell you off air who it was. Really good. Hey, man, things are a little weird. We might have a COVID thing. Probably get back to you in like 3-4 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. At least give me a heads up. But people were like emailing, like, yeah, we're really bogged down. I was like, yeah, that's your job. I'm bogged down too, but I'm finding time to email you back. Like basic email stuff from another company saying COVID's slowing. Get the hell. We're short staffed. Oh, you're short staffed? There's me and Jim.
Yeah.
We're running 3 companies right now.
On a really small scale, even like text. Like, let's say I text someone this. I'm like, hey, can you send Silent Mike some shorts? I'll get anxiety for like the next 8 hours until they go copy or I got it.
Give it a little thumb.
And then later they go, I'm like, I see them the next day and I'm like, did you send them the shorts? And he goes, yeah, I sent them, of course. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? So even just like little, I guess, like confirmations, just making sure the message was received.
Right.
It's big.
Yeah, I'm big on that too, just because of my anxiety. I just get shit done right away. Like I sometimes I'll read into Jim wrong. I think he'll be like, "Hey man, like send me that logo," and I'll be like, "Fuck, I gotta give him that logo," and I'll fucking sprint over to my computer and give him the fucking logo because of my own anxiety issues. But at least I know I get shit done. And I give him the thumbs up and yep, sent bro, got you. That's my issue with having an online business, even though ours is physical. Like all of it's online is like. I just feel like I got to do shit.
Yeah.
If Bart told me to send shorts, I'd fucking run through a wall to my computer to send these goddamn shorts
awesome.
out. Well, it's good, but it causes like this. I walk around like this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It does make it this. Going back to your point about, okay, so my free throws are not great, but hey, we're winning already, you know, so maybe I shouldn't worry about it. It is easy to get caught up in a particular idea as a business owner. It's like, we really need to push in this direction. And you get a little bit of pushback, not necessarily from your people, but just from like the world on it. And you have to decide at that point, like, do I keep pushing on this?
Is the
or do I let it sit and find out whether or not I was right about just get any indication if I should keep going in that direction, and then you either do or you don't. But you can get very hyped up about a particular thing that in the moment is not actually as meaningful as you think it is.
I don't know if that's business or if that's more creative.
Maybe creative.
Yeah, because like you're a creative dude too, despite your degrees not being in that world. And like creativity, I find that's what fucks me up. Business stuff, I can kind of step back and say like, all right, what makes money, you know? Like X, O. But when I get my creative hat on, I get caught up in like, no, I need this. And you're running down like, this is meaningless, but I'm still going, you know? You're like, I'm fucked over here. I text you a lot about it. I'm like, dude, I really want to do this. And you're like, yeah, that's good, but like, you got to worry about who's buying it. And, you know, I'm like, no, bro, I'm heading here.
Yeah.
Opposed to your text and shit being slower conversation or slower communication, do you think Zoom calls makes a more productive meeting? Because when I hop on a Skype or Zoom call, and we don't really do these meetings, but I've had some over the years with you guys or whatever, you know, but most of my stuff's in person. My meeting, when I'm on my computer, like I know I'm there for the meeting and I'm just paying attention to the meeting. Where like I'm the goofy kid in class. If I'm in like a group meeting, I'm fucking around, or even on phone calls sometimes, you know, I'll be joking or whatever. Do you find that those meetings in a micro scale are productive.
I don't know if they work for everyone.
Fair.
There's people that like you turn on the video and you can clearly tell someone like rolled out of the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're like, wait, this person isn't giving me the feedback that I usually get.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, this guy actually benefits from sitting in traffic for 40 minutes getting to work. 'Cause
Sure.
he's getting primed.
Or he got his
he's
coffee,
He's got
yeah.
his coffee, listening to his podcast, whatever. And then when he walks through the door, this guy's ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, although it's more convenient now, I don't know if this workflow is producing the best result. You know?
that
So
makes
it's like,
sense.
and then there are people that are just straight up locked in. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, I don't do anything else. Because I caught myself because I have like pretty bad ADD.
Yeah.
So I'll have my Zoom, but then I also have all these things going off, and I see my phone going off. So now when I'm in Zoom, like I shut all windows. I'm only in Zoom, and I turn my phone over. I don't even want to see a notification.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the notification's like really enticing.
Sure.
You know, like, oh, Michael Jordan liked my picture? Wait, what?
All right, dude. That didn't happen. Don't lie.
Yeah, but like you know, stuff like that, like the
Yeah.
little
Your
the small
Pornhub
things.
subscriptions ran out.
Yeah, that's more realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. No, I have that actual issue with my watch. My watch will go. Oh,
Yeah, that's why I don't want to get one.
That's why I can't get
yeah, I
one.
can't get
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
too.
Gio wanted to buy me one, and I tried hers because I had not a Sunto. What's the other brand? Garmin.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have one for running,
Uh-huh.
but it also has some of the function where you can link the texts and emails and stuff.
Right.
And it was just vibrating like all day. It started giving me anxiety.
Yeah, I'd be fucked.
Because there's times I'm like, I want to be with my family, and then I get like a text from someone, and I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking return that
Yeah.
text. Oh shit, you know, and it's too much.
I've had my ringer, vibrate, text, email off for 5 years.
What?
What?
How do you
How do
just
you
know when
Just check,
to reply?
check every hour-ish.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You
I
get
mean,
back.
I'm-
You
I'm-
get back really fast.
Fast. Yeah, I'm fucking around my phone. That's part of the addiction. Also.
Like,
Like, I'm
I-
not gonna like I'm perfect, but like I'm slightly addicted to my phone anyways.
Yeah.
So then like this, I just nothing ever pops up. It never rings, never vibrates when I'm like working. So I can set it down like you said, and I can bang my emails. But then when I'm free, but there's probably been times where it's taken an hour. It's either gonna take an hour or it's gonna be immediate.
Because
I'm
that's
like
probably true. So
Yeah.
if I tag you on Twitter with something, you respond within never more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably because I'm fucking around because I'm
Okay.
addicted to social media.
Okay.
But it's not
I-
because of the notifications.
I understand that.
Yeah.
When I
Or like working out. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to throw it to the side and not worry about a conversation. Not that I won't text while I'm working out, but I want to be in the workout, you know?
the time that I disconnect from everything is I go for a massage for 90 minutes once a month.
Yeah.
And like I was wearing the watch one day and my massage guy was like, "Can you just take that off?" I was like, "Yeah, you know what, I can." And I just put it all aside, and sometimes I can hear it rattling or whatever. It's like I'm just not going to worry about it right now.
Was it because when you're getting a massage, you kept going like,
No, but it'll just go.
Siri.
It'll just go off. It'll vibrate or whatever,
Yeah.
and flash and all that shit.
and it's ruining like the chamomile vibes.
Yeah.
Lavender in there.
Yeah.
What are some maybe pros? Because again, like your instance is kind of interesting because you've done a lot of online work. But
Yeah.
what people don't know is even just getting films, which is predominantly a production company or a content creation company. You guys meet in person.
Yeah.
You meet in person to film, but you have meetings in person and you have a physical location.
Yeah.
Which again is different because, which I admire in a lot of ways, is you systemize things. You're not just like a dude with a camera.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
a
yeah.
production company.
Yeah.
And people may not know that. Maybe they know that because they watch your vlogs or whatever, but the commoner doesn't know that. They
Yeah.
just see your YouTube videos, the end production. Has that changed at all for you? Like those Zoom calls, or is it all just pretty easy? The other thing too is all your businesses are like established. Not that you're not growing or
Yeah.
wanting to grow, but it's not like you just started one like our dumbasses this year in COVID.
Yeah. JK is actually a little bit smoother. It's been more established and it has a clearer hierarchy, and it's like almost like a one product company.
Right.
So it's way easier, right?
Right.
So it's a one product company, and we also have a pretty seasoned manager. So she just takes care of everything,
Yeah.
and she gives us updates pretty much once a month. If there's anything outside of her, like she feels like out of her league, then she'll discuss with us. But it's pretty smooth.
Yeah, you have a flow.
Yeah, with Barbell Brigade, it's like a multiple. Like we got a gym, we got supplements, we got clothes, we're just like all kinds of
And
stuff.
content, and yeah.
So it's just so many things going out that there could be a lot of different issues. With the Zoom calls, what's been cool is I think people are able to kind of work at their own pace and not have to be together, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool, especially for some of the people that do deal with like overseas. instead of having like a traditional, like we like to meet like 9 to 5 or whatever. They're like,
Right.
I'm gonna work in the morning, and then at night is when I'm also gonna work because that's
conversation.
that's when I talk with like China or whatever.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the day, I'm gonna just take that time off. I'm like,
That's-
okay, that works. You know,
Yeah.
that works for you.
Because you got to work a 9 to 5, and you can't do shit.
Yeah.
And then they got to work a
Another-
9 at night to midnight.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, you go do that.
Yeah.
So in some ways, I think the Zoom and allowing people the flexibility to do things, I think people feel more free, which is cool.
Yeah.
But then also, I think from a business end, the parts that do need Band-Aids do pop out way more.
Sure.
And that allows us to kind of like troubleshoot and fix those things. Because I think ideally, you would have something that's extremely super streamlined that works remotely. Then if you guys are able to come together, then I think that becomes like the super team with like, you know, like you could boost morale, motivation,
Yeah.
pizza Fridays,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good point. I also think that this kind of flexibility allows people to do jobs that they may not be able to do otherwise, just because the schedules of their lives are too complicated, or they got kids, and childcare is incredibly expensive, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's shut down.
Yeah, right.
Like it's all
so
weird.
so when people can split up their days, like you're saying, where they work 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours at night, or 5 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night, or whatever. If you didn't allow that flexibility, they couldn't do that job, and maybe they're really, really good at it. Maybe they're, maybe that's their best life, and it's your best employee.
Yeah.
For that particular function.
Yeah.
So
and they get to make other lifestyle choices too. Like someone in our company, their husband just got a new job and got transferred like an hour away. And if she had to come in, it would have been one of those like, hey, either you leave your job or I leave my job.
Yeah.
But then now,
which is like such a normal thing. I feel like my parents went through that. Like a lot of people go through that.
Yeah, but now I think we're able to make it work. She's like, I can come like maybe 1 day a week to do all the in-person stuff and get all that squared away. And the next 4 days, I'll just be out. And we're like, I think that's fine because we did a whole year of not seeing anybody.
Yeah, that's really cool. What about obviously the pros? I feel like the pros have to be more because, again, like joking but not, you made a decision to move cities in COVID because the scale had to be more good than bad.
Yeah.
So what are some of the good things that gave you confidence? Because I feel like it's not even like good. Yeah, it's like confidence.
Yeah.
I have confidence that this is going to work. That's how business works. It's not good or bad.
Yeah.
There's not good or bad decisions. Like I have confidence this is going to succeed or I have confidence this is not in an employee, in a strategy, in a marketing campaign, whatever. You have enough confidence to step away a little bit. What are some of those things that you saw like, all right, this can work?
So when COVID hit, I was like ready to pull my hair out because I was like,
you have great hair, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
Bart, I know you guys think Bart's like 25 or something. Bart's 45.
45, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got great fucking hair.
Yeah, so I was like, oh shit! I just felt like the company was just gonna melt in half.
Yeah,
and we were able to sustain like for 2 or 3 months without even adjusting any of the systems or anything.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn, our like infrastructure is much stronger than I thought it was. That's crazy, And then I was like, oh, a lot of people are a lot more self-motivated than I thought. And then so because of that,
what do you attribute that to? Hiring process, culture, all of it?
I think just going through the growing pains of business. So this would have been it was our 7th year last year. If it would have happened in year, I think like maybe 2 or 3, I think it would have been crushed.
Yeah.
Because at that time, we were still kind of running things almost like a fraternity, like a clubhouse.
Yeah.
Like people show up to work and they're really just laying on the couch laughing for an hour. You've seen that part.
Yeah.
We're just like a big party.
Yeah, I've seen it all.
Yeah, big party clubhouse. And now it's like it's to the point where people know what their goals are. They know what they're supposed to do. So if someone's talking too much, they'll be like, hey, be quiet, or I'll talk to you during lunch. I got to do this. So it's like almost everyone, like not just the company maturing, but all the staff maturing, and then our systems maturing, and us troubleshooting throughout the years and fixing all those kinks. So the infrastructure is actually pretty strong. And then we spent all last year fixing the parts that needed the Band-Aids. And then we're like, you know what? I think we can actually move to another state and still operate this. Yeah.
And you want to get away from all the California hippies.
California is just crazy. I just want to get away from the human caca on our front lawn every week. Yeah.
That's fair.
What? That's
he doesn't have that. He's lying.
Yeah.
that would be really bad. I would be upset by that.
That's what you hear.
I know it's going on here for sure.
Yeah.
For
In
sure.
San Francisco, you hear. Have you been to San Francisco recently?
No.
I
Oh, we
haven't
just
either.
drove through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it. Like
I've heard.
under the freeway passes.
Yeah.
But like we just yet last week, we heard like music playing, and then there's like a guy freestyling in front of my house, and me and Drew are listening. I'm like, oh, this guy's actually pretty good, but I'm like, but I still gotta call the cops on this guy.
Yeah, that's weird in your neighborhood.
Yeah, especially because it's like there's a lot of like dads that go to work. It's just a lot of like moms and children.
Yeah.
So, and this was like 11 o'clock at night. So I called the cops, and then the cops like, wait, are you on that street? I'm like, yeah, I'm on this street. And they're like, oh, that guy actually called the cops on himself already. I'm like,
What?
oh, okay. All right, see you guys later. It was crazy.
Yo, come arrest me. These bars are too hot.
Well, what's that would have been funny.
Spitting fire out here.
Yeah.
Spitting fire.
Well, what's crazy, it's like, so the transients and the cops, it's like,
You're like on the burbs. I don't know if you talk about where you exactly
Yeah,
live,
yeah.
but you're like on the burbs, like
Yeah.
a really nice neighborhood and not downtown.
no, not downtown.
Not even close.
But like from my perspective, because I was ignorant, I thought it was a very, like in the burbs, I thought the relationship was like a one-way thing, where it's like, hey, there's this guy shitting on my lawn, and you call the cops, get him out of here, you know, because my kid's gonna play there later. But it's not like the transients that have experience, they know how to utilize the cops to do stuff. So they understand what the public services are offered, and they know how to play the game. So it's not,
Was he trying to get a meal, you think, kind of deal?
no. So he stashed something inside that empty construction lot next to my house, and he couldn't find it. So he wanted the cops to come and then shine their lights. So they all helped him look.
No.
And we just see these two SUVs, black and white SUVs, and they're just shining the lights going around. And he's like, I found it. And then they just left him alone. And he goes, well, it's good that you found it, but you can't be staying here. Like, you
Yeah,
got to
you
go
just took
over
off.
there. So he ended up leaving, but they just know. He was using the flashlights.
Yeah,
of
and
the,
if it's not being violent, like, I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it, but you're
yeah.
like, dude.
It's just
That's
crazy.
crazy.
It's just nuts. We're just there, like, watching our security camera. Like, what the hell is going on back there?
And
Yeah.
then now you're moving.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
That's crazy. Well, I think we
Yeah, we can get into a part two. A
Yeah,
part two. So as you
yeah.
guys know, that
let's do a wrap and then we'll.
yeah, you want to shout out your things, dude. Where can people find you?
If you want to follow me personally, I have Instagram Vomit, where I just put whatever. It's Bart Kwan, BartKwan. Our gym is Barbell Brigade. You can go to barbellbrigade.com to find clothes, supplements, everything. And you can check out Just Kidding News for our comedy talk show.
Boom.
Yeah.
Is that not YouTube? How do they find it?
We're still on YouTube.
Okay.
Just Kidding News. But then if you want to see like the good stuff, it's on Patreon now.
Yeah.
But we do post regularly on YouTube still.
How do I get invited to one of those? You wear like bikinis now to film and like rated X shit?
What do you mean? I used to invite you all the time.
No, first don't lie. All right, that's the number one
You've
requested
been on
thing.
a ton of episodes.
I know, but now it's the Patreon, like the naughty, right? Isn't that where the naughty
Nah, it's
goes?
not really that naughty.
Oh.
It's naughty for YouTube, so we got to take it off YouTube to stay
It's not
safe.
just fans.
Yeah, I
it's
want to go to the.
Patreon.
I want to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to the naughty ones.
Okay, I'll invite you.
I'll be on a couple naughties. Ladies and gentlemen, please give us a rating and review. Appreciate you so much. New episode every Wednesday. 3rd Street Barbell on Instagram. 3sb.co.
I'm at the Jim McDonald on all the social media. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. And we'll talk to you next time.
Take it.
And we're out on that one. Talk to you sometime next week.